Welcome to Hollywood Talks. This is your host, Belle Hernandez. And today I have the pleasure of interviewing a friend and a wonderful actor. We're really going to find out what he's been up to lately, what is coming up, because he has a film that actually he shot like a few years ago. And now it's premiering and it's doing the festival circuit and it's getting such great response. I want to welcome Sal Lopez to Hollywood Talks.
Thank you so much, Belle. I'm so excited to be here with you.
Same here. And we've been together, like doing kind of our careers had like the same trajectory because we were both folklorico dancers.
That's true. Yes, you're right.
And then we both, our first theatrical production, I think it was my first, I think it was your first, was Zoot Suit, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So let's go a little bit of back into the folklorico, because that's really where all your career started in the entertainment industry. So why did you join a folklorico group?
Actually, it was, I was at a junior college and LACC actually, and they were looking for volunteers for a Cinco de Mayo production that they were going to do. And they brought this guy in from Mexico and he was going to teach. And I was in a Chicano studies class, and the professor said, if you volunteer, you don't have to do a midterm. So I said, I volunteer. And that's kind of how I started. And I really liked it. We learned like one dance, I think, one or two dances that we did for that celebration. And then after that, I got hooked and I thought, you know what? I want to pursue this. Where could I? And I thought, well, East LA College, I'm sure they're teaching it over there. So I transferred over there, and then that's how I got started. And
moving on to the trajectory, I know we both did a lot of folklorico for a lot of years, a lot of folklorico performances. And then we both had a friend that we knew who's now no longer with us, but it's Miguel Delgado, who I was in his folklorico group, and I was his assistant director for the Mexican Dance Theater, Teatro Mexicano de Danza. And he was involved in, getting into different forms of dance that Latinos did in the U.S. And then he became the assistant choreographer for Zoot Suit. And did he also approach you to audition for Zoot Suit?
Actually, it was through Yerbani, my wife, who I was dating at the time, and I had just gotten back from Mexico because I was dancing with the Ballet Folklorico de Mexico, and Yerbani was the one that told me that Miguel, she had spoken to Miguel, and they were having these auditions, and so she was going to go. Her and some friends from our folklorico group were going to go just for the experience of auditioning. And I said, well, why? I want to go. And she said, well, call Miguel Delgado, our mutual friend, who was very, very talented and really was taking folklorico to another level, which was very controversial at the time. But, now we know what a visionary he was. And so that's how I got the audition was through him. He gave me the information, etc. And I went and that's how I got cast. And then that's how you and I got to know each other. I think we knew each other from the folklorico world, but then we ended up on stage together.
So this is your first theatrical production. And now I know that theater has been in your life ever since then. Throughout the years, that's been like your base. And then you go off and you do film and TV and all sorts of things. But this was your first play. So tell me what you thought about, and you actually got to act, because I was cast as an understudy. I didn't really get to act. I was a dancer, basically. But you actually got to act, right?
Yeah, I had a few lines. It wasn't a big role, but it was, it's a pivotal role. And I had no idea because I had not seen the play. So they asked, I remember the first reading or get together, whatever it was. And they said, who hasn't seen the play? And I said, I haven't seen it. So they said, okay, well, we'll get you tickets for tonight or whatever it was.
Wait a minute. You got cast before you even saw the play?
Yeah, I had not seen it. No, I had no idea. So I go and I see this play and I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. I was really overwhelmed. And I even emotionally, I get emotional now just remembering, but it was so exciting. The excitement was just so, never experienced like that in my life. And then to be part of it was just thrilling. And I learned so much just from watching other people. And as a result, I said, look, later on, as people were coming and going, and as you know, we ran for a long time. There were people, understudy people, etc. And then I said, hey, well, I would love to understudy so and so, and I ended up doing that and continued to expand my knowledge of the craft, etc.
In between the theater that you're doing, which so many amazing plays you've done with the theater company, Latino Theater Company, but also you went off to do some really memorable work on film. One of them was American Me. You also went off to do a tour with Linda Ronstadt,
Yeah.
putting your folklorico talent and your acting talent and your musical talent on display, because there was Canciones de mi Padre. And the wonderful thing about that is that you got to do that with your wife, who, of course,
Sure.
you met with doing folklorico. So
Mhm.
that was amazing. But I wanted to talk to you about one of the projects that actually started on stage with the Latino Theater Company, which is MOE. And
Yes.
this is the movie that I wanted to talk about, because it is part of the Mexican American Film and Television Festival, which happens in April 20th and 21st. And this is a very interesting story, because it's based on a mutual friend that we all know, and you did the play, and then you decided to get in the producer seat and be the star of this film. And you filmed it when? In
18 years ago, almost
18 years ago.
18 years.
Okay, so this film is produced by you and
Peggy Portillo.
Peggy Portillo, and you're the producer as well.
Right.
And it's directed by Jose Luis Valenzuela, who leads the Latino Theater Company, and written by Evelina Fernandez, who writes a lot of the plays for the Latino Theater Company.
My heart can't move on. I know it's sad, but don't miss me. Don't miss me.
Do you think I should stuff my tits?
When I'm gone, you were my best friend.
But what's amazing is that you did this 18 years ago,
Yes.
and you just finished it last year.
Yes.
And so tell us about, first of all, tell us about what the film and how it came about,
Mhm.
and then the decision to film, and then we'll take it from there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a long story. We could do a movie about making the movie, but I mean, we shot it. Imagine, we shot it on film. It's shot on 35, and so we did the play. We workshopped the play first back in the 90s, and we like to say it's inspired by the life of Jose, not based on, because it's not factual to well, everybody uses different terms, based on, inspired by, etc. Some facts or whatever, but it is inspired by some.
Jose Salcedo, right?
Jose Salcedo, yes. But anyway, he was he was part of the theater company, Latino Theater Company. He was a director and actor, and like many of our friends and family and artists, he was taken by the AIDS epidemic. But so we did this workshop. Evelina wrote this play, and in the play, the character Mo sort of is denying who he really is in terms of living his life, in who his true self. And in the interim, he has this alter ego who's a drag queen, who is pushing him to tell the truth about himself and his life, and face the realities that he has been avoiding all his life, really. And so it's on stage. We did a workshop with those of us company members, and I remember that Jose Luis said, whoever wants to take on these roles, let's take on a couple of scenes. and we'll come back, and you guys can show us what you came up with. So Rick Coca, who's this macho main guy, he decided to take on the drag queen role, which really inspired me. I was like, wow, he's really, willing to just stretch his range, etc. And I took on Mo, and we did some scenes, and anyway, so eventually it just blossomed into this amazing piece of work, and it was a hit play. We got awards from the GLAAD Award, and we were recognized and got wonderful reviews, etc. And it was very successful. So we thought, look, why don't we do this to make this film? Now we had done another film called Luminarias, and it was very grassroots, and we funded it with friends and family, etc. And we thought, I don't want to be asking other people for money, so let's just do it like bare bones. And we asked a lot of different friends who might be interested, and they liked the script, etc. And so we
You mean actor friends or producers as well, and directors?
Well, also producers. I mean, we Moctezuma Esparza helped us with a couple of producers that he brought in, etc. And then everyone basically worked for nothing. And one of our cinematographer, who was an amazing cinematographer, he's one of the guys who actually tutored a lot of the big Mexican directors who have had a lot of success here in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so we decided to go ahead and shoot. One of our board members said, "Look, you can use my house," and so we shot it. We shot it in a very short amount of time. We brought in Yolanda Gonzalez, who is an amazing artist, and she did our basically our sets, with all the artwork, etc.
Set production.
And it was just an amazing collaboration of people. Henner Hoffman was the cinematographer, and so we brought all these people together. We did it with just love and our passion for this particular piece, and then we didn't have any money for post-production, basically, and
that's where it stopped. After once you shot it, you put it away. And
yes.
Why did you not give up on it? I mean, some other people would say, we just don't have it. And what was the hope that the money was coming in? How did you know it was going to happen?
What happened was the Guadalajara Film Festival at I want to say over 10 years ago. We showed what we had at that time. It wasn't finished, and there was a competition for finishing scholarships, if you will, and like a poster or sound, etc. And we won like 10 of those awards. So but there was a time limit on it, and we couldn't accommodate the time limit. But this one guy who really loved the film, Samuel Roset from Cluster Studios in Mexico City, he said, "Look, if you guys get it to Mexico City, I can do a lot of the work." And so that was a whole adventure. We had to get it to Tijuana, and then we had to get it on these trucks. And Jose Luis, the director, some of his family owns.
That's a movie.
Funny. It was just nuts. And so we're talking about the reels, the reels of film.
Uh-huh.
We had to put them in a car, and drive it over the border, and then they put them on this truck, and they took it to Calexico. And another relative had these reels in his kitchen for like half a year. It was crazy.
But so you never gave up hope.
Right. So then Jose Luis, the director, and myself, we got in my car. I had like a little SUV back then. We went across the border, and then then we had the cans, and we had to get them to this other location, and then the customs stopped us, and they said, "You cannot. What's your permit for this stuff?" So we had to get
How did
letters.
they know you had the film?
Well, you could see them
Oh,
in the, it was all full of cans.
oh my gosh.
And so now we're this other obstacle, and like, what are we going to do now? And they can ask you for, well, where's the permit, where's this going, because you can't just take a movie across the, you know what I mean, there's laws.
I thought it was only for drugs.
there's rules and regulations. So we told them that it was for the film festival in Guadalajara, and it was a student film, and anyway, it was a whole rigmarole. We spent the whole day. Finally, we were able to cross the border, and then we took it to the one of these delivery places, HDL or whatever, HLD or whatever they're called, and then they shipped it to Mexico City, and then little by little, they worked on the color timing, on transferring it to digital, all these different things, and it took a millennium. Obviously, it took forever, but. And then a friend of ours, a friend of mine, I did a movie called, what was it called? Oh my gosh, it was called, it was just on Netflix. I forgot the movie. Anyway, he worked on this movie. He did the sound, and I showed him the movie. I said, we need someone to help us with sound. And he came in. We had already had other people do a run on the sound, but it still wasn't, presentable. So he liked the movie, and he was willing to help us. Of course, his name was Juan Campos. Of course, he was one of our people, one of our gente. And so he finally finished the sound, and we were ready to finally finish the movie. And now it's going to be at the wonderful Chicano Festival. So we're so thrilled and excited and honored that it's going to be presented there.
And it's been traveling to different festivals. So, and I hear every festival is just praised the film.
Yeah.
How does it feel to see yourself and your fellow actors 18 years ago doing the roles? I mean, is there like a disconnect of who you are up there? What's it like?
I mean, it still holds up so very well in terms of story and the humor and everything else that I'm really proud of it. I'm really proud of it. But yes, we do look. I have no gray hair. So it's very interesting to see us, looking so much younger. All of us are so much younger. It's really bizarre.
But you are right. It still holds up. And even though it's about the AIDS epidemic, it could be, it could be about COVID. It's the same thing. There's somebody who's ill and someone who is kind of in the late stages of dying.
Correct.
And it's still very powerful. And it kind of is a reminder that AIDS was not that long ago, and how horrible it was. And so it does stand up. So what has been the reaction from the audiences?
Yeah, it's been really positive and just amazing, because you don't know what it's going to be. I mean, it's been such a long time. It's obviously dated. Is it going to resonate with an audience? But people cry, and they laugh, and it's a good story. It's just confirms to us that it was such a great play, and I'm just delighted. We're just so surprised that it still resonates with people, and it's I hope more people get to see it. I hope we get to stream it somewhere, and because it's very unique.
I also wanted to make sure we let people know that MOE will be showing at the Mexican American Film and Television Festival, April 20th and 21st. Does it show, excuse me, on the 20th or the 21st? What day?
The 21st at 7:00.
So if you want to see this great film, it really does tug at your heartstrings. It is a very relevant film, and it's really well done. It's such a treat to see this forward-thinking film that took 18 years, and the filmmakers never gave up on it because they knew what they had, and it was based on an award-winning play. So please go to the Mexican American Film and Television website. Who are the other actors in the film?
Yes, 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 yes. The other actors are Lucy Rodriguez, who is wonderful in it. Danny de la Paz, who is Jeff Rivas, who's a working actor. Evelina Fernandez, who's a prolific writer. And Tonantzin Esparza, who is wonderful in this movie. Um, and yeah, it's a great ensemble. I think because all of us did the play, we were so um, we it was an advantage for us because we
Yeah.
knew the characters so well, and so we brought that to the screen, you know. And under Jose Luis's Valenzuela's direction, it just really is tight and it gels and it moves at a clip.
So tell everyone when again.
Yes, the 21st of April at 7 o'clock, the Mexican American Film Festival, which is at I think Harmony Gold is the theater, right?
At Harmony Gold
Harmony Gold.
in Hollywood, and you want to go to we'll put it in the Chiron, but you want to go to mexamcef.org/film-television-festival.
It's true. Thank you, Bal. It's a joy always seeing you and continue to know you through all these years. And it's just, you know, it's one of the treats of being in this business, and that you have friends that you still
Yes.
connect with, you know. And we shared that one experience that will always be with us.